This is the part 4 of the Piano Basics series. This part, along with the next one, will actually be about the last bit of information you need before you can finally go and play. Of course, there's more things to go over, but music is not about theory, it's all about having fun making music or playing music. So the last component you need before you start playing is chords. A chord is simply a set of notes played at the same time. The most basic chord you can play is composed by 3 notes. We call them triads. You will encounter 4 main types of chord. There's the major chord, the minor chord, the diminished chord, and the 4th one is the augmented chord. But we're not going to expand much on this one just yet. Now, just like we had a specific formula to create scales, we're going to need the same type of formula to create our 4 main chords. To keep things simple, I'm going to share with you a quick trick that will help you create all the 4 types of chord only by knowing one formula, the one we'll use for the major chord. Okay, to create a major chord, you're going to take a note from the keyboard. Again, let's stay original and play C. That first note will be the root of our chord. Then from that note, we're going to go up by 2 whole steps. That's 1 whole step, and that's 2 whole steps. And we get here on E. And that note is the 3rd of C. More precisely, that's the major 3rd of C. And now you might be confused. Why that note is the 3rd of C, even though it's the 2nd note played in the triad? And that's simply because E is the 3rd note in the C major scale. And remember the C major scale? If we look for E, 1, 2, 3, that's the 3rd note in the scale. So that's why we call it the major 3rd. So we have 2 notes. As I said, we're learning how to create triads. Since we only have 2, we still need 1 more to complete it. So from E, we're going to go up by 1 whole step and 1 half step. And we have G. G being the 5th note in the scale of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one will be the 5th. So we have the root, the 1, the major 3rd, and the 5th. So the C major triad is composed by C, E, and G. Now, only by knowing the major we can easily create the minor, the diminished, and the augmented. To create a minor chord, we only need to take down the 3rd by 1 half step. The 3rd, the major 3rd of C is E. If I take it down by 1 half step, I get here, on E flat. So the C minor chord is composed by C, the root, E flat, the minor 3rd, and G, the 5th. And you can already sense that the major and minor are opposite. The major sounds bright and happy, and the minor sounds dark and sad. So that's for the minor. Now to create the C diminished chord, we need to go from the C minor chord, C, E flat, and G, and take down the 5th by 1 half step. The 5th is G. Take it down by 1 half step, you get here, G flat. That's a C diminished chord, composed by C, E flat, and G flat. And that one sounds even more darker than the minor chord. It's more on the gloomy side. And finally, to create the augmented chord, we play the notes from your major chord, C major, C, E, and G. And from this one, you're going to take up the fifth by 1/2 step. So, for C augmented, we have C, E, and G sharp. This one also sounds pretty weird, but as I said, I'm not going to expand on that for long. So there you have it. That's the 4 types of chords: the major, the minor, the diminished, and the augmented. Another quick example, we're going to create the 4 main chords for A. First, the major chord. Start on A, that will be our root note, and go up by 2 whole steps. 1, 2. We get on C sharp. We have the root, we have the major third, we still need the fifth. So go up from C sharp by 1 whole step and 1/2 step. And we get on E. A, C sharp, and E, that's the notes for A major. To play A minor, take down the third by 1/2 step, so C sharp becomes now natural C. A, C, and E, that's the notes for A minor. Let's keep going. Now take down the fifth by 1/2 step to play A diminished. A, C, and D sharp or E flat, that's the notes for A diminished. And finally, for A augmented, play A major and take the fifth up by 1/2 step. You have A, C sharp, and F. That's the A augmented chord. You're now able to create the 4 main types of chord. We will see together how to add the left to what we have on the right, and you'll finally get to play. See you in the next one.